Alright, this is part 2 of 5-1-HW1. Got a little cut off. We did problem number 1, but here's now problem number 2. So problem number 2 says 2r squared minus 85 equals negative 7r. Now what we got to do, we got to move that negative 7r to the other side. So to do that, we add 7r to both sides, and we're going to get the equation 2r squared plus 7r minus 85. And that's going to be equal to 0. So I'll move that out of the way. So we get this equation right here when we move it over. Next, we got to identify our A, our B, and our C. So this is 2r squared. Put the little 2 there. So 2r squared plus 7r minus 85. So the 2 in front, this guy is our A. The 7 is our B. And the negative 85 is the C. So our formula that we got, the quadratic formula, to find out our x values, because our goal is to find the x values, it's going to be minus b, which our b value is 7, so I put a 7 in there, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so 7 squared, minus 4a, which is 2, times c, which is negative 85. All over 2a. I put a 2 in there. Now we're going to simplify things down a little bit using a calculator, or we actually put the entire thing in the calculator. What I like to do is put the entire thing in. So I'm going to put parentheses around the numerator, then I'm going to do divide by 4. Because 2 times 2 is 4. So let's do that in the calculator. Clear this. Alright. Slide this up so I could see it. Alright. So what I do open parentheses. Then I do negative parentheses, pardon me, not negative parentheses, negative 7. Then I'm going to do the plus sign first because it's just 2 different equations, plus minus. So I'm going to first do the plus sign. So plus the square root. Oh, let's start again. Open parentheses for the entire thing. Then I do open parentheses and I do negative 7. Close parentheses because it's negative b. Then it's going to be plus. Now we're going to do square root. To find square root, it's in blue here on this calculator. I hit second x squared, which is square root, and then we have a little black box inside that square root. So we're going to put in parentheses 7, close parentheses, squared, minus parentheses 4, open parentheses, 2, close parentheses, open parentheses, negative 85. Close parentheses. And then we're going to kick the calculator out from underneath the square root. Kick it on the outside. And then we're going to close that parentheses up. That's my entire numerator. And then we're going to divide that by 2 times 2, which is really just 4. So we're going to divide by 4. Then we hit our enter button. Our answer is going to be 5. So one of our answers here is going to be 5. I'll write that down for us. And the other equation we got to put in, we're just got to use the minus sign. So we're going to do the same thing. The same exact thing as we did up here. Except instead of plus, we're going to put a minus sign there. So 2 open parentheses, negative 7, close parentheses. So the plus sign, now we put a minus sign. Second square root, parentheses 7, squared, minus 4 times 2 times negative 85 close parentheses. Then we got to get outside by hitting the right arrow key, divide by, and then divide by -4, or divide by +4. And we get -8.5. So 5 and -8.5. Those are my two answers for problem number 2. Let's move on to problem number 3. Problem number 3 says 2m squared minus 11m equals 6. So we subtract 6 from both sides. And we're going to get 2m squared minus 11m minus 6. And that's going to be equal to 0. Put a little squared in right now for you, so it looks nice and pretty. I'll delete this, so everything comes nice and pretty for us. So you have 2m squared minus 11m minus 6. Next step is to identify a, b, and c. So our a is the 2, the positive 2 in front. Our b is -11, and c is our -6. So we're going to put that into the quadratic formula that crunches our numbers out here. So it's minus b, which that means inside those parentheses we put an 11, -11. This is also b squared, so we put a -11 in there. Minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is -6. And times a, which is 2 again, down there. Now we're going to put all this into the graphing calculator. So I'm going to bring that up here for myself so I can see it. Let's put it into the graphing calculator. Alright. So we're going to do 2 open parentheses. Or better yet, we'll do open parentheses for the top numerator. Then we hit a minus sign. Then we're going to do another open parentheses and type in -11. Close parentheses. We'll first do the plus sign. Then we're going to do the square root. So second square root. Parentheses. -11 squared minus 4. Whoop. Better yet, I'll do parentheses there. 4. 2. -6 goes in for C. We then get outside the square root by hitting the right arrow key. Then we do our close parentheses, and we're going to divide by 4 because 2 times 2 is 4. Hit enter, we get an answer of 6. So the first one is 6. That's our first answer. The next one, to get the second answer, we're going to use the minus sign. We're going to do the exact same thing. Open parentheses, negative. Open parentheses again, -11. Plus, then we do the square root. -11 squared minus 4. I'm going to do parentheses there. 4. My A is 2. My C is -6. Hit arrow key to the right. So we're outside that square root. Close our parentheses. Divide by 2 times 2 is 4. And we get an answer of 6. Oh, I didn't mean to hit that plus sign. I meant to do a minus sign. Hopefully you guys caught that on the first time. I made a mistake. I meant to hit minus sign there. I think I'm getting a little tired myself. Squared minus 4. Close it up, divide by 4. Our other answer is -0.5. So you -0.5. That's what you should get when you have the minus sign there. So you use the plus sign to get this answer, and then you use the minus sign to get the second answer. All right, let's do one more. Problem number 4. We have v squared equals 3v plus 10. So I like to get everything on the left-hand side, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to subtract 3v from both sides and then subtract 10 from both sides. So we're going to get v squared minus 3v minus 10 is equal to 0. Get rid of this big guy. So that's our equation. We just use inverse operations to solve for it. Now we get our identifier a, b, and our c. Our a, in this case, there's an imaginary 1 in front of that v squared. So our a is 1, our b is negative 3, and our c is negative 10. So we put it into our handy dandy quadratic formula. Minus b, our b is negative 3. b squared is negative 3 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c gets you negative 10. All over 2a, which is 2 times 1. All right, so that's plugging into the quadratic formula. I'll bring it up so I can easily see it, and let's put it right into the graphing calculator. So we have, open parentheses, our negative for that negative that's up front. Open parentheses again for negative 3. Now I hit the plus sign first. Second, square root. Parentheses negative 3 squared minus parentheses 4 times 1 times negative 10, close parentheses, divide by, well, it's 2 times 1, so that gets you 2. So my answer in this case is 5. So my first answer is 5. Now I'm going to do the same thing, but just with the minus sign. So parentheses, negative 3, minus square root, negative 3 squared, minus parentheses 4 times 1 times negative 10. Hit the right arrow key to get outside that square root. And we're going to divide by, well, 2 times 1 is 2, so I divide by 2. And my second answer is negative 2. So we have 5 comma negative 2. All right, these problems are tough, but hang in there. Try your best. If you have any questions, come to Extra Help. I'll be happy to help you out. Or ask me during class. I'll be happy to help you out there too. Make sure you finish the rest of the Google form and have yourself a good night. All right, goodbye.